How do we cover our mouth?
Liam, can you say Bobby?
Bobby.
Say Bobby.
Say Bobbin.
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 Bobbin around town. Anyway, next question. Bobbin, 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 bobbin around town.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2020 Thanksgiving Day on Nantucket. I'm Bobby Planzer. How are you?
I'm good, Bobby. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. This year's Thanksgiving, we are unfortunately can't meet in person like last year's Thanksgiving due to the coronavirus. Wherever you are, I hope this episode brings you happiness and light. Will you be on island for Thanksgiving?
Yes, we will. Yeah, we are heeding the advice of the officials, and we are not traveling. We are hunkering down and trying to do our bit to socially distance.
Well, it's going to be a quiet Thanksgiving for us here at the Proch household. Unfortunately, of course, due to COVID situations, we can't have any family from off island come and visit us.
And we almost always get together with them, but not this year.
My mother is in an assisted living facility here on the island, and so we're not going to have her over and we're not going to go there, but we'll probably bring her in on Zoom.
So it's sometimes a good old-fashioned phone call feels really good.
But this year, guess what? Miranda's coming back from college, you know? She's being tested before she leaves campus, so she'll be coming here with a negative test. So we got to take it seriously, right, man?
Yeah.
I make it adaptable. I don't think about the blame of the virus and all of that, but I'm saying, what can I bring that is as enjoyable possible, that make people feel that I am thankful and grateful for them in my life, because it's a time of being grateful.
Gabby, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for my family.
Hello, this year I'm thankful for my 2 new Nisha rescues and my good health. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful for my food and the no.
I'm thankful for family and my health and working.
I'm thankful for life.
Good wine, good cheese.
Good friends.
And we're wishing you all a safe and healthy Thanksgiving with your loved ones.
So what will you be doing for Thanksgiving?
I thought you invited me. Wait, you didn't invite? I thought this was your invitation. Bobby? No, that's disappointing because the only reason I said yes to this interview was that I thought you were going to invite me over to your house.
I was, but there's this thing called COVID-19, John.
Do you ever do that, Bobby? You look at home movies? No. Do your parents ever torture you by showing you home movies of yourself as a kid? No.
They used to.
We're going to torture Miranda when she comes back from college tomorrow, and we're going to start showing her, like dancing around naked when she was like 1.5 years old.
And this year, we're putting a lot of the past videos, actually, we had together, and then we're playing them together. So that would be fun.
In terms of Thanksgiving, definitely a lot of online shopping.
We do that. That's what we do after we eat dinner.
Guess what Lauren is looking for in deals? This is so sad. A vacuum.
That's what our lives have come to.
I'm like, she's getting
the joys of being
excited about a vacuum.
How boring.
Right. I'm like, a porch swing is so exciting.
If you ask me, I think it sucks.
I guess it's a football day, isn't it? Is it typically football? Isn't that what we watch? Yeah, we do the football thing, and nothing special as far as television shows. There's just so much choice these days that sometimes I just turn it off and go read a book. Well, it's a short read, trust me. After the dishes, and then if I lie down on the couch and read a book, I might get 10 or 15 pages, and then I'm out.
My policy for work calls during Thanksgiving is I've had a few drinks and I'm not really available right now.
I'm a little bit of a workaholic. Let's be honest. I will probably be checking my emails and answering my phones during Thanksgiving.
For Thanksgiving, my girlfriend Janet Forrest and I are getting a turkey from Annie's, and we're going to have a big table. We're going to put food on the table, and then we're going to eat most of that food.
Of course, turkey is my favorite Thanksgiving food. You know, you just can't beat turkey. But you know, this is the funny thing. I don't like the turkey on Thanksgiving dinner. I like getting up in the middle of the night when it's been in the fridge for a while and making a cold turkey sandwich, sliced turkey sandwich with Miracle Whip on something natural Portuguese bread.
I make my own homemade cranberry sauce. I sound like an advertisement for the Chamber of Commerce, but I really do mean this. I get my cranberries from the Nantucket Conservation Foundation, and so I love cranberry sauce.
I love cranberry juice. I don't know, you can check this on TikTok. You know the famous TikTok thing with the cranberry juice? I did one of those. I actually went into a cranberry bog with a harvester. And on the harvester, I did the lip sync, a Fleetwood Mac, and drank some cranberry juice. So cranberries are number one in my house on Thanksgiving.
Like mashed potatoes and gravy and Brussels sprouts and all kinds of good stuff, and then pies and wine.
And then, of course, my dogs will be at my feet, picking up my scraps.
You know, it's interesting, when I met Tommy, his family really spends a lot of time focused on food. Coming from England, where we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving, I was sort of curious my first year with Tom to see what his traditions were. And I was really pleased to learn that it was roasted turkey and stuffing and wonderful desserts. So being married to a chef is a very smart thing for me. I love everything. I can't honestly say there's ever been a meal that Tom has made that I haven't enjoyed. Maybe brains. Maybe. I tried it. I can't say I loved it, but I did try it.
So when I grew up, my parents were all in on the American dream. But what's really funny is that turkeys aren't typically what you cook in Central America. So for a good 10 years, for the first 10 years of my life, the turkey was always overcooked and dry. At some point, my parents just figured, let's do our own thing. You know, we would make arroz con pollo, empanadas, tamales.
Our culture, Caribbean from Haiti, we always cook something they call juri with janjan. This is something amazing. It's like you prepare this rice with mushroom water, that's dried mushroom. You prepare it with beans, green beans, and put some coconuts in it and some shrimp in there. And you mix that up. We always have that. It's just from years. If my mom comes, it doesn't have that juri with janjan. It's like it's not Thanksgiving. So always cook that.
Oh, it's very American that they sit around the table and say what we're thankful for. Because us Irish, heaven forbid you show any emotion or discuss your feelings. So I think it was one year we were with your family and they were like, we have to go around the table and say what we're thankful for. And I was like, in front of each other, our emotions. But I love it now. And versus reality, I think it's really special. And now I have no problems expressing my emotions and saying what I'm grateful for. And I do think it's a really good time to reflect on, you know, all the good things in your life. So I think it's a great holiday.
Who does what on Thanksgiving?
The little ones, I try to give them some busy work. I also try and have some kind of craft that we will have. And then for the teens, I will often send them out into the woods to get fireberry because it's so pretty.
Oh, the kids don't do anything. I mean, when I say kids, I mean like they're 25 and they're watching, you know, music videos on YouTube.
And then the adults are usually eating cheese and drinking when I am, you know, preparing all the other items. And it's fine. I love that. It's fun. So I always try and have a nice cheese platter so that when I am working in the kitchen, which I love to do, people are, you know, they can have a glass of wine, they can be, you know, eating cheese, crackers.
Well, I don't do the cooking, and everybody is very thankful for that, I assure you.
Yeah, typically my wife takes care of all of that, and she really loves it.
I must say, I'd love to say I share all the cooking preparation, but I don't. I do the carving. My wife, it's a big job.
I feel this is a time to connect. So I have everybody involved.
Chris is dynamite in the kitchen. I'm gonna get everything for him. He's gonna get a turkey.
I make some ham, potatoes, tomatoes.
And he's gonna drench the turkey in bourbon.
I would say that I am 90% of the workload, and someone better do the dishes.
It's interesting. I will say that the guys, the men, tend to be the cleaner-uppers, which I love.
What my deal is the cleanup. I'm very good at the cleanup.
The boys are always the one to just clean up.
But we both get to, I would say, about 99.9% of cleanup. And then that last 0.1%, we wait until the next morning.
The cleaning, that tends to be a little bit harder because we all just look at the piles of dishes and are just like, we'll do it tomorrow.
I loathe dishes, especially on that scale, leftover for the morning. Awful.
No, I don't like that at all. It's not happening the next day.
It has to be done.
Once I've done all that work, I want to come down and see order restored to the household.
And make sure Miranda helps in the kitchen.
Thank you, man. I'll save the dishes for you. I know you're really good at the dishes.
Happy Thanksgiving!
My name's Kim Albertson, and I'm your assistant principal at Nantucket Elementary School. And we are so thankful that school is in session and that all these families let their children come to school every day. Thanks, Nantucket, for making a difference and letting us be here.
I am thankful for my family and my friends.
Let's see, how am I celebrating Thanksgiving? No clue. We really have no idea. When nothing is certain, everything is possible.
I'll be celebrating by having my family out to this awesome island for a whole week.
Happy Thanksgiving, Nantucket.
Happy Thanksgiving, Nantucket, from all of us at Nisha.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Nantucket.
From the
Nantucket
Memorial Airport.
Hi, everyone. This is Captain Al Brox, and on behalf of the Steamship Authority, the crew of the IANO, we want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the day with your family. Stay safe.
Be sure to wear your mask.
Hi, y'all. Wishing we are staying safe,
Stay home.
rounding up for the Nantucket Food Pantry.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to the town of Nantucket. You guys enjoy it.
We're celebrating by spreading holiday cheer.
I'm thankful for a great work environment.
And I'm thankful for all of you that make this possible.
Feliz Dia de Ação de Graças, Nantucket!
Hey, Nantucket. Manny and Danny here, and our newest member of the family, Luna. She wanted to wish you happy Thanksgiving, and I would like to say to everybody, честит ден на благодарността и весели празници, and
muy feliz Día de Acción de Gracias para todos. Pasen en familia, tranquilo, con mucho cuidado.
Do you have any Thanksgiving Day traditions?
Yes, so tradition that my girlfriend and I do every year is the annual cold turkey plunge. My tradition is I film her jumping in the ocean, which is a good partnership. So she jumps in the freezing ocean in her bathing suit, and I don't, because I have to record her jumping into the ocean that's freezing with her bathing suit.
Every year I make a toast. My dad got up and gave a toast, and so it was kind of carry on his tradition to thank everybody for coming, to give thanks, to the universe above us.
I guess maybe we played a lot of games and, outside and maybe even inside, like board games and stuff. But now it's not quite as physical as it used to be.
Amongst our family, you know, I mean, our family is very sort of outspoken and gregarious and loud.
My family is comprised of actors, teachers, and lawyers. We love to talk about movies. We love to talk about books. We love to talk about theater. So yeah, it's very lively and, you know, very strong opinions. You know, politically, not everybody is aligned. So, you know, I don't think everybody should go there at the Thanksgiving table.
Not politics.
Politics. Politics and the food and what's going on in everyone else's life. A former governor, Michael Dukakis, one of his pet peeves at Thanksgiving is that people would throw away turkey carcasses. And he would take the air and he'd tell people, don't throw away your turkey carcasses. It's valuable, it's nutritional, make some soup, do this. And so what happened is his neighbors started bringing turkey carcasses over to his house afterwards, and he would try and use them.
I just wanted to just say a big shout out and hello to all my Nantucket friends. And we're thinking about, as we say in the South, we're thinking about all y'all.
I hope the Nantucket community has a fantastic Thanksgiving, physically distanced with masks as needed, sanitize as much as possible. Please do not travel. If you do, please be extremely careful and get tested when you're supposed to, quarantine and isolate when you're supposed to.
And this is a moment for each person to look at each other and recognize the person that in front of you. Who are you? Who will you represent for me in my life?
On this Thanksgiving in particular, with so many other people to thank, our troops that, you know, represent us around the world and keep us secure, our police and fire and the front lines, I'm going to focus inordinately on those healthcare workers, frontline nurses, doctors, clinicians, people that work in the hospitals, keeping things going. We should all be grateful for an enormous sacrifice they're giving us.
In the time of the Mayflower, there was this terrible plague that had killed off a lot of Native Americans in New England, and Massasoit, who was a sachem in now modern-day Rhode Island, a lot of his allies were killed by this plague. And the Europeans would come over and they would kidnap Native Americans to make them as slaves. And this was a perpetual cycle, but both Europeans and Indians had this relationship where they would actually trade with each other. Of the kidnappings that were happening, Squanto was one of the Native Americans that were kidnapped and brought back to Europe, but he had lived in England and spoke English. So he returned on an English ship to his home at, modern day Plymouth, is what is now Plymouth, just a few years before the Mayflower arrived. So he was met with an empty village. He came back, he looked around, there was nobody. So many had died due to this disease that he then went down to meet with Massasoit, but found out that some of the family and friends had in fact survived.
Why did they leave? Why did the English leave?
No, the English didn't leave England.
Oh. See, I don't know anything. I got my citizenship though. It's all good.
So, not many people actually know why the Pilgrims left to England to come to the States. And the reason was because they were actually part of the Puritans, but they thought that the Christianity at the time was becoming hollow. So they ended up leaving England, going to Holland and then coming to America thereafter. But the Puritans ended up staying in England. The voyage took 65 days. Can you believe that, 65 days? And there were 100 people on the boat. Before the Pilgrims actually set foot onto Cape Cod, they actually had everybody sign the Mayflower Compact, and that just made sure that they allowed all of the laws to be governed by all the elected officials.
How do you know all this?
So it was actually a gentleman by the name of Miles Standish who brought a few people ashore to look for things like firewood, fresh water, and food. And what he found was buried corn at the time, but it was the Nauset's corn, and he ended up stealing it.
It was about that time the Pilgrims first encountered the Native Americans.
And I can imagine what it would be like to be a pilgrim stepping off of the boats and encountering the Native American Indians for the very first time. It has to be completely surreal. They lived close to nature. They wrapped themselves in animal skins. They wore feathers. And so for these really uptight pilgrims coming from their really uptight countries and their really uptight religions, to see these people living so close to the earth, I think must have been a shocking experience.
And then I think the pilgrims sailed off to Plymouth.
These people on Mayflower arrived, and they landed and unloaded all their stuff and began to settle.
They didn't realize how harsh the winters can actually be here and how early it actually started.
So Massasoit actually sent Squanto out to form an alliance with all the English.
And at first it was pretty friendly, and the Native Americans helped them get through that first winter by providing them food.
In terms of storing their food and fertilizing for the growth of that food and some of those things.
And if it wasn't for their benevolence, the colony wouldn't have been as successful as it actually was.
It was about after a year after arriving, the Pilgrims actually celebrated a successful harvest for the first time with a 3-day gathering.
In fact, the Native Americans weren't invited. They just showed up later on.
And they did indeed have turkeys. There were wild turkeys. But they also ate venison. And they also ate lobsters and clams, berries.
As things progressed, the settlers started to sort of not listen, and they wanted to do their own thing, and that encroached upon Native American lands and customs and traditions.
So when I think back to that feast, I think back to what we were told, which is a wonderful story, but it was just a story.
And although I'm grateful for Thanksgiving, I'm grateful that I live in a country where we are still free and we have a constitution to uphold our rights. But I think it's also important to recognize the loss that came with that.
It's really remarkable and I think important that as we celebrate the 400th year, and Plymouth is in my district too, is getting the true story out there and showing the real story of the Wampanoag tribes, and that's important.
Bobby. Okay.
So before the Pilgrims actually step foot onto Cape Cod, they had every single person sign the Maytag. We have appliances on our mind.
Take 57.
Okay, come on.
Hey, Fano, I'm taking a nap. Long work day. I don't get paid for this job.